T-Bird fans, we welcome you to a brand new edition of T-Bird Talk. I'm Cloud County Community College Sports Information Director, Toby Nosker. On this week's edition of T-Bird Talk, we'll have an opportunity to recap the 2026 Cloud County Community College indoor track and field season when we're joined by Drew Mahin, Director of Cross Country and Track and Field at Cloud County Community College. Last weekend, both the Cloud County Community College women's and men's indoor track and field teams were well represented at the 2026 NJCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships in Topeka. On the women's side, Cloud County had 5 top 3 finishes and 7 athletes receiving All-America honors. On the men's side, Cloud County had 1 national runner-up performance and 7 earning All-America honors. We'll break it all down next. This is T-Bird Talk.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 Early Bird Scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
This week on T-Bird Talk, an opportunity to recap the 2026 indoor track and field season at Cloud County Community College as the Cloud County Community College women's and men's indoor track and field teams concluded competition at the 2026 NJCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships in Topeka, Kansas. Joining us is Cloud County Community College Director of Cross Country and Track and Field, Drew Mahin. And Coach, we'll talk about some of the results at this year's NJCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships in just a moment. But you get to compete pretty close to home, which I know is always nice, and at a place that probably felt like almost a home meet at this stage. I think you went there 4 separate times throughout the course of this 2026 season, that being the Snead Indoor Athletic Facility on the campus of Washburn University in Topeka. So kind of familiar grounds, and again, nice that you didn't have to make a long, lengthy road trip. I'm sure everybody felt pretty comfortable heading into the national meet.
Schedule is always exciting, whether we're going to be at Hutch Outdoors or indoors at Washburn or Pittsburgh State. It makes it nice because then you get a lot of teams that target those open meets for the regular season competition. So you end up seeing a lot of the same junior colleges, whether it's from Iowa, Texas, New Mexico, Kansas. Of course, we're going to see a lot of the KJCCC schools every single week, and just building that familiarity. Our region of Kansas schools is by far the toughest in the country, and when you're sharpening yourself with those schools week in and week out, it's going to give our kids an advantage at the national championships, knowing who they need to compete with. And across every event, we had region schools right before us or after us or next to us, and about every single thing we can imagine. So that familiarity, building a comfort zone for nationals, expecting to be there against the best is always important when we build a schedule. Washburn's been really good to us as far as the facility and getting back and forth safely. We had some interesting weather to deal with on the trip, but it really did make a big advantage for schools that have to travel 15 hours, 12 hours, 10 hours in vans or buses. When they have to jump in flights across the country, you never know what you're going to have to deal with. So
we'll talk about the results, and there's a lot of highlights, All-American performances on both squads, the women's and the men's side, school records reset, those sorts of things. So we'll highlight all of that in just a moment. But, I think back to when we visit with you during the cross-country season, and one of the things that we talk about is, even though we highlight some of those cross-country results, it's all a process building towards the track and field season. All of those cross-country kids, other than those that ended up leaving to go to 4-year institutions by the end of the semester, are part of the track and field team. And now you come into an indoor season where the large majority, if not all of these kids, prior to their collegiate experience, have never competed indoors before. They're so used to the outdoor atmosphere and elements and environments. This is the first time they've ever been a part of an indoor season. How do you balance things as far as what you're trying to accomplish through the indoor, but also using it in preparation for what's still to come when the outdoor season begins next week?
Yeah, we have to put it in context all the time. When we have a training season or a competition season for some that could last 10 months with cross-country and distance group, we have the track kids actually 6 or 7 months a year that they're very, very busy with us. So we'd like to tell them that there's no indoor track and field in the Olympics. We'd love to see it in the Winter Olympics, but it doesn't exist. So it can't have all of the weight. It is a part that we're really excited for those opportunities, but it's not the end-all, be-all. We are very lucky to have 2 seasons in the spring. To be able to have a crescendo to May is really important to build on successes, but then also to fix issues and problems that might exist in injuries or training. And just being able to get back outdoors makes it feel like some people can breathe again. Some people can actually show that they're confident knowing how to go into that season. When I added up, out of all the All-Americans we had indoors, we really only have 2 true sophomores that have spent both years with us that were represented on the All-American podium. And that's between all the relays and open events. So Maimuna Jallo is a sophomore for her second indoor season. Finishing like that was good. Talia Leiner was another sophomore that's finished with us both those seasons. Everybody else was either new to our program in January or new to our program in August. So these are first-time experiences for them in a national championships. Even Bailey Burns in long jump, academically he's a sophomore, but this is his first indoor season. It's a growth process building for the bigger championships outdoors. Getting them comfortable with pressure, comfortable with competition, with travel, all the expectations that we have is difficult enough. And then to be able to leave one season on a high note and be still excited for the next season's really, really good for our team. So,
how did you feel like the indoor season as a whole went leading in to nationals? The meets that you had, I know one got canceled due to weather, but getting everybody qualified that you did, the way that you performed at the region meet, the women coming away with a 3rd place trophy there. How did you feel like the indoor regular season itself went?
I think every program either feels like things are falling apart by the time they get to the end of the season and they're ready for the next challenge or ready for the next year. And then on the flip side, the positive teams are still building and they're still excited for the next big challenge. A lot of our kids grew in confidence. They grew in events. They grew in opportunities. We even had a girl, Ariana Kane from McPherson. She started as a hurdler, and by the end of the year, she's an All-American on the 4x8, only running that event twice in her life, being regionals and nationals. So there's still surprises left to be had. There's still challenges we can give to student athletes, and they can still grow from it. The girls' team, I think, weathered the storm with adversity, and we need some of that adversity to be tougher outdoors when we add in new events with steeplechase and 400 hurdles and javelin and hammer and some other unique things that make our team stronger. The guys' team showed some resilience with finding out who's on that 4x4, who's stepping up at the national championships. We have a 4x8 group that's like 3 or 4 freshmen. Giving them the experience to be at nationals is important, but then also the next experience to be stepping up to be an All-American spot and help our team. We had sicknesses to deal with, injuries to deal with. Everybody goes through that stuff. The guys fought really, really well at regionals, and I think we finally got a little bit of a swagger back to be able to know we can compete in that top 5, and we should expect to be in the top 5 every year. We just need more depth. So Andy Cooper was not a decathlete or heptathlete in his previous time in high school. Being able to see him develop in an event that's brand new to him as a freshman is really exciting. Seeing the teams, it's our team surrounding the people that are doing the right things and kind of setting the right values and the right standards is really important. I was really proud of the women to be able to battle through some adversity at regionals to still get a trophy. Outdoors, I know we can still do a lot more. The guys should expect more outdoors as well. And, it's a lot of freshmen. It's a lot of freshmen that sometimes we joke are 13th graders. They're going through these things for the first time. They're going through a lot of new experiences. And then if you can build confidence into the next year, we're going to have a really solid group of sophomores next year.
Do you meet much resistance from these kids when you talk to them about taking on events that are so unfamiliar to them, whether it's an Andy in the heptathlon, an Ariana in the 4x8. I've even heard as you guys now start practices for the outdoor season, some kids throwing that have never thrown before. Do you meet much resistance? Are they eager to try something new? What's kind of the overall mindset with the athletes?
Well, in recruiting, we have to have a good conversation with everybody about, are you willing to be stretched and grown into another type of athlete? We have a long history of bringing in athletes in one event group, and then they develop really well in an adjacent event group, whether it's the jumps to the sprints or teaching somebody how to triple jump for the first time and then become an All-American. We have Ariana picking up the pole vault recently. We have people jumping on relays that weren't quite their main event in high school. So you got to recruit the right kids that are open to growth. And when you sell success stories to them that have happened for the last 48 years, 50 years here, of people being challenged to try steeplechase, try the 400 hurdles, try this. We don't know where you're going to go with this event, but it's worth trying. It's always exciting because they start to believe it's possible. Once you have some faith in people, you have some trust in athletes and coaches, the ceiling just continues to raise. And I think that's what made our team so special, whether it's Muna jumping on 4x4s in the past, Talia jumping on 4x8, doing the 600 meters indoors. We have a large group of kids that ask for more ways that they can impact our team in a positive way. And really, they set the standard. If the kids didn't want to do it, we can't force them. We're really bad at coaching hostages. So they have to be willing when they come here and be recruited to challenge themselves. And it's not a hard fight for anybody. We've maybe had one or two struggles in the last few years, and that might be an injury basis. It's not a motivation basis.
You talked about injuries. Every team has to deal with them. But you guys were impacted, especially late in the indoor season. Mamuna Jallow, returning national champion for you, battles an injury, actually sits out, doesn't compete at regionals, returns, gives her best effort at nationals, and we'll talk about that performance in a second. And then Whitney Scott, unfortunately, qualifier in the women's pole vault, does not get the opportunity to compete due to injury. I know that's tough to see late in the season. Definitely. When a kid works hard to get that moment and just can't go out there and compete.
Yeah, and after really the first two meets of the year, there's no opportunity to use a medical redshirt in injuries in the junior college system. So having an injury late in the year can be stressful, and you feel like you're letting your team down some. But we also have to be aware that their growth outside of the track and field arena, their growth in classes, their growth in leadership, their growth in communication. There's a reason you're going through this, and we have to find some positives and some silver linings. Muna had a fantastic freshman campaign and really couldn't try to replicate that again. So what can you do when you're given a curveball? It was also sicknesses that she had to deal with over the weekend. It was also Ramadan and dealing with some different energy sources, and fasting and stuff is interesting. There's a lot of athletes at the national championship that were going through similar things that she did. But to weather the storm and have a great attitude and still be able to support your team, I think that showed the best part of her, that she wasn't broken because she's dealing with an injury. It shows that she can have growth. It shows she can be resilient and tough. It can show her teammates that it's all worth it. Whitney has always been a really good positive example for our team. Her jumping higher and more on average higher than she did in high school is a huge positive in the right direction. We know we have some time to get these people healthy, but it's that mindset of going through adversity for the outdoor season too that'll help, especially bringing some of those freshmen back to be sophomores. How can you reflect back on this and help somebody else go through the same situation on the next year or the next season?
Let's talk about some of the results first on the women's side at the national meet. And let's just start with Mamuna Jallow. Again, missing the region competition, but bouncing back to turn in 2 third-place finishes at the national meet. She ends a third-place finish in the women's 60 meters with a time of 7.26, and then added a third-place finish in the women's 200 meters with a time of 23.46. Some of the times we saw in these races were unbelievable, but how did you feel about Muna kind of fighting her way through some of those things, as you said, weathering the storm?
Yeah, last year I think there's 3 or 4 girls that were in the top 5 all time in the 60 in junior college history. So that was a record-setting year by any one of the top 3 or 4 girls, and they would have all looked fantastic if they won. They're all very capable. Now this year, she's the only returner out of that group, and there's a new set of 3 or 4 contenders that are all battling for that same spot. It's a record-breaking year in terms of the depth of the sprints in the women's side. So she ran her second fastest 60 ever, I believe, besides the national record-setting time she ran last year. So you have to be happy with that coming off a post-injury. And it's 2 quality races back-to-back in different days in the 60. You go to the 200, and she lost a tiebreaker down to the 1,000th of a second. So there's no complaints there. She could have been easily second. She could have been in a different heat with the girl that ended up winning it. But to be able to make it through 4 quality races on what she had to deal with injury-wise was huge. And just confidence-wise leading into the outdoor season. She'll be okay. She'll be a contender. We've just got to be able to build on this and keep her successful. So all of the times that she ran would have been a school record for us, 18 months ago, if that makes sense. They would have all been in the top 10 all time in junior college history. So we have no complaints on her side dealing with an injury, coming back and having 4 quality races.
Freshman Natasha Burrell, two-time All-American at the end of her indoor season, including a runner-up finish in the women's shot put with a toss of 50 feet 4 inches. She also added a third-place finish in the women's weight throw with a throw of 57 feet. But Natasha, a really good start to her freshman campaign.
Oh, she's unbelievable, and she's doing it with a different approach where she's not to her full glide yet, or she's not using the spin and the shot put, which every other athlete in the finals was using those different techniques. So the technique she's using, you have to be very explosive, but there's a lot of room to grow on. So the recruiters are foaming at the mouth now, trying to say, wow, she's going to be really good in all these different things later on when she adds more technical tools to her repertoire. She is second all-time in shot put to another famous Jamaican athlete named Nyoko Clunas, who qualified for the World Championships in the hammer. So to be in that rare air over 15 meters as a freshman is a huge start, and that's not even her best event, which we recruited her for outdoor events in the discus and javelin. In the weight throw, her just figuring it out with a one turn. Again, throwing 17 meters is huge for a freshman. She has another freshman in our region to contend with from Hutchinson, so they've been great for each other to battle back. I think that puts her 8th all-time in our history at Cloud in the weight throw, and that's a really good event we've had many national champions in. So for her freshman campaign to finish like that and to lead to her more exciting events outdoors is really cool, and the recruiting landscape just opens up tremendously now for her. So I think she's really excited. She's been a good student. She's been a good teammate. It'll be really cool to see how our outdoor season goes.
Another freshman that finishes as a two-time All-American is Scholastica Herman. Earns All-America honors in 2 events, scoring a 5th-place finish in the women's 1,000-meter run with a time of 2:56.38, and then rounded out her weekend with a 6th-place finish in the 600-meter run with a time of 1:33.83. But again, a really strong start to her collegiate career as well.
Yeah, she joined us in January, and what's really cool about her and the tradition they have in Papua New Guinea is she followed one of our employees here at Cloud in admissions with Poro. She broke 3 national records of Poros in the 600, 800, 1,000, and I believe the mile as well, so maybe 4 total school or national records for her home country of Papua New Guinea. To come in January, to deal with the weather, the changes, the training, classes all picking up, she's been nothing but stable, and that's all we can ask for from a freshman. Even making it to nationals in multiple events and jumping on 4x4 at the end of the meet. She's shown great range, but even better attitude. She's always willing to do more for her teammates. She's always willing to communicate with the coaches on any different issue. She's been a pleasure to coach. It's just trying to figure out where do we go once the stability's there outdoors. Do we add in volume? Do we add in intensity? What's the major events that she's going to help us with? But she has a large toolbox to help us from all the middle distance races and then 2 different relays indoors or 3. And then outdoors she can help us in probably about 3 or 4 other events. So she's been exciting to deal with, but we got 3 semesters left. We're just still figuring out who she is as an athlete.
Sophomore Talia Lehnert competed in the women's pentathlon. She finished in 3rd place there with 3,265 total points. That all occurred the first day of the national meet. And then the next day, she joined the 4x800 meter relay team, along with freshman Mackenzie Baker, Ariana Cohn, and Marine Jepchurcher. And they finished 6th overall in a time of 9:39.85. And so some freshmen that I know have bright futures amongst themselves, but Talia, really strong performance, being able to combine that 4x8 with what she did a day prior, finishing 3rd there in the pentathlon.
Well, she ran a lifetime best in the 800 split there, so that was really exciting to see her do that after 5 events on day 1. For her being a sophomore, she set some huge goals for herself, not only athletically but academically. As a leader, we could never ask her to do more. She's been so positive with all the other women on our team, and just a source of inspiration and kind of a rock for others to lean on, saying, I went through that as a freshman. You're going to be okay. You're going to weather the storm. We're going to make it through this. she's been such a really important piece to building up that women's group. On the 4x8, we have Maureen coming after a 5K on day one. We have Mackenzie Baker in her first experience doing this indoor track stuff at Nationals, had a huge fan club from Washington, Kansas there. And then Ariana had never ran the 4x8 before regionals. That group, after seeing them on the podium for the 4x8, was so exciting just to see. They were wanting to do it for each other, and it didn't matter who was on the relay. They were going to be pumped and excited. Talia has grown so much from her freshman year to her sophomore year because she's expecting more, but then also she's accepting the results as they come and not trying to force things. She's trying to enjoy those moments and trying to be more present during those multis. It can be a mental battle and a physical battle and an emotional battle when you go through all those 5 events and then outdoor 7 events, but keeping your head calm, keeping yourself in the game, she's really grown as a young leader.
Let's switch gears and talk about the men's side of things as well at the national meet. And I guess we can start with Alpha Mpufu, who comes away with 2 All-American performances, placing second in the men's 400 meters with a new program record time of 46.23. And then he's part of the 4x4 team that also sets a new school record time of 3:10.07. They finished 6th overall. Other members include sophomore Barafa Abdulaziz, Keon Williams, and Nico Eilette. Talk a little bit about that group, and then I know kind of an exciting way to finish things off at the national meet with that men's 4x4 run.
Well, anytime we get to work with an outstanding athlete like Alpha with the top end range to be not only impactful here at the junior college level, but Division I, he would make an impact immediately on most programs. And then at the world stage with his home country of Zimbabwe, they have some huge goals for them in the future. Alpha is not without growth. When he first came, there's a lot of doubt, let's say fear about past injuries or dealing with different things. And we've had to help mentor him through the coaches. Coach Smith does an amazing job with working with all of our athletes, but then especially the 400 group. Having a record-breaking year and expecting that right away indoors, he's handled the pressure well. But being able to be there through doubt, through injuries, he's had to deal with a doctor, training staff, deal with different things with a hamstring issue, and we're not 100% sure going into nationals if he's going to be the best version of himself physically. Now, mentally, he weathered the storm. He had a great attitude. He ran that 46.23 from the slow heat in lane 3, which is absolutely crazy, and that's actually faster by 20 hundredths than our outdoor record, which is exciting to show what we can do outdoors. The 4x4 to be able to step up with another sophomore, Barafa, 2 freshmen that just got in here in January, Saniko and Keon. That was really cool to see them develop and grow and challenge each other, and then really run against the best in the country and the best in our region, with Barton and Coffeyville having 2 top 10 teams as well. The 4x4 ended without knowing if we would actually be on the podium and count the results because there was a protest. The protest would move one team up in the team standings that could help them out a lot. We had to file a protest on their protest and got them back into the meet via a video review. So there was a tense 20, 30 minutes there after the meet was finished that we didn't know if we could have a school record or if we got to, just look for our outdoors. So once the word was coming back from the officials, we were granted the protest, and we got our result put back in. They were finishing 6th place at 3:10 indoors. Is absolutely wild. Years ago, that would have won a national championship every single year. But for our guys to be able to do it at the biggest moments, whether it's regionals or nationals, is really important. Alpha's got some huge goals outdoors to get down to the 45s. His training says he can do that. Weather has to play a factor. Competition will play a factor. But, I think that leadership goal to see those guys grow together is still there for outdoors. We can still clean up a few things and hopefully get under 3:10 outdoors and contend for a national title.
Well, and as, some people will focus on that 6th place versus what the actual time and result is, right? Yeah. Or even Alpha, finishing second in that 400. But when you see that you're setting new school records, it's hard to be disappointed.
Yep.
And it just speaks to the level of athletes that we're talking about these days.
Yeah, we call it trackflation. The last 10 years has been insane to see the level of technology in the shoes, the track surfaces themselves, but also the level of expectation. Everybody comes in with more knowledge now in the junior college world and college athletics in general. It's just educating our kids on what's possible. You might have never tried this event before, but I believe in you. Let's go do the science. Let's go do the training. Let's figure out what's going to be possible throughout the season. But it's been awesome to see them grow with Coach Smits and that leadership there.
In the men's long jump, sophomore Bailey Burns jumped 23 feet, 11 and a half inches as he placed 7th in his first indoor national meet. Freshman Kasper Kerchevsky competed in the men's pole vault, recording a height of 15 feet, 2 1/4 inches as he placed 8th. And then you talked about it earlier, but freshman Andy Cooper, representing the T-Birds in the men's heptathlon, had a strong showing, including having to battle to get himself in contention to place, but he's able to do so. He finishes 8th individually, 4,499 total points. But really good to see the way that these kids were able to compete through their first indoor national meet.
Yeah, sometimes the first national championships you go to is probably the toughest for the freshmen. Just building that confidence, knowing they belong, knowing how to handle the stress and the anxiety of dealing with it all. Bailey had an unfortunate outdoors where he fouled 3 jumps in a row, but any of those could have been a legal jump and could have put him in the top 10, top 5 outdoors. That did not happen. At regionals, he had a fantastic weekend, jumping close to 25 feet in a really good battle with another couple athletes. But turning around to go back to in indoor national championships, it's a different type of stress. Having recruiters there, having everybody have your pressure on you. He did make it to finals, and we're proud that he did, but he left some really big jumps on the table with some small fouls. We're getting more consistency built up with Bailey, and he's having a much better attitude about dealing through the processes. To look at the full components of training, the full components we get to deal with indoors and outdoors facility-wise, we're really excited to see what he can do the outdoor season, and he feels like it's a successful step in the right direction. Kasper as well has been challenged with different poles and different abilities to come in at different heights. He was sick during our regional meet, so bounced back well to be on the podium. Of course, we'd love to have more bars and more opportunities to jump higher for him. But Coach Bro over there in Jamestown has done an amazing job working with all of our vaulters, and Kasper is going to have a lot of really good opportunities in the future to get closer to that 15, 16-foot range on an average basis. Andy's a special story because the ties that we have to Pike Valley High School, of course, my own high school, but one of his coaches back home was Coach Bauman, who was an All-American here in the 80s in the heptathlon, decathlon, and a Concordia native. Having his coaches there from high school is really neat. Having his family there. His grandma beat us to the facility probably 2 days in a row. Having a little fan club from Cortland, Kansas was really exciting to see Andy grow with confidence. Cody Sharp did an amazing job. Just being a great teammate and having that leadership ability as a sophomore, putting Andy in a good place mentally before some of those tough events. And those are all, I think, every event in that list, the hurdles, the long jump, the high jump, the shot put, the pole vault, the 1,000, he's only ever done long jump. And that was once his sophomore year. So those are not consistent events for him from high school to college. So he took on a huge challenge, a lot of injuries and a lot of little nicks and bumps to get there. But outdoors should be pretty exciting for him to grow in the decathlon. The last All-American spot we had was on the 4x4 guys. Keon, Saniko, Barafa are all scratching the surface, trying to get to be competitive enough to get their own right. Keon improved from a 48.33 400 into a 47.33 and was 10th. He was the last spot out in finals of the Open 4, but they together as a collective make for a pretty strong 4x4. So I know the rest of the guys are excited to get out to outdoors and see what we can do.
After a week off, the outdoor season's almost here, though. The first meet, I know you'll take a smaller squad to Lawrence and to Rock Chalk Park for the Jayhawks Spring Fling. That'll begin March 21st, and then the season will really kick off in earnest coming up March 28th with the Mark A. Phillips Invitational down in Ark City, Kansas. But not much time to rest and relax. The outdoor season's here.
Yeah, I think if we had a longer break, our kids would probably go a little stir crazy. They're really excited. We did have a week off in between regionals and nationals, so I think that kept a lot of our kids really hungry and driving to get out there again. We're going to have great weather, hopefully, here for spring break. Close to the 80s, I believe, at KU, so we're going to try and get in javelin, discus, hammer, 400 hurdles, some outdoor events we don't typically see until this time. Our outdoor season is mostly in Kansas with Cowley. Emporia State's on the docket, Butler, Kansas Wesleyan, Fort Hays State, and then Cowley's going to host our regional championships at the end of April and the start of May. It'll go really quickly. The month of May is crazy busy. We also have a youth track night we're hosting on Mondays. So we are enjoying the outdoor season, getting out there training right now. Be excited to see what the small group does at KU. And then once we get back from spring break, we're going to have like 6-7 weeks left in our season. It'll be kind of fast and furious all the way to May and go into outdoor nationals in Hobbs, New Mexico.
In the midst of all that, though, during the month of April, the Cloud County men's and women's track and field programs host an annual youth camp that you guys are going to be doing again, your Cloud Youth Track Nights that take place at Harold M. Clark Stadium on the Concordia High School campus. It'll run each Monday night in April from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. You've done this for a number of years. Tell me about this youth camp.
The youth camp is open for 6-year-olds to 6th graders. It's pretty exciting because our athletes turn into coaches for an hour every Monday night in April. They will show them skills and tools and different events with sprints, blocks, relays, long jump, high jump, turbo jab, shot put, just getting all different athletes, different experiences from around the whole community of North Central Kansas. We've had athletes drive up to an hour each Monday. We've had many families from Cortland, Belleville, Concordia, Minneapolis, Clifton Clyde, Beloit. It's been really cool to be able to connect with the community, enjoy what we do, but also put our athletes in different unique roles that they have to be leaders, they have to be good communicators, and then they have to be able to engage with people on a different basis. It's helped us grow leaders really quickly, and they have a lot more appreciation for what goes on at practices and just logistics in general. So anybody that's interested can look on cloudtbirds.com under the camps tab, or you can contact me. My information will be tied to this link, or on our roster you can find the coach's information as well.
You just posted on social media earlier this week how 2 of your national qualifiers this year were previous past participants in the Youth Nights, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think looking back even to 10 years ago when we had the old track facility, that black track, we don't miss it very much. We're so happy to be able to share a nice track in the community with the high school, the junior high, and the college working together on that project. But Carly has been an awesome leader. She's been a great community member, big part of volleyball team, track team. She's an RA. She gives tours for admissions. So does Andy. Andy's stepping in as a freshman into some of these leadership roles, and it's been really cool to see how one path follows another. Our local athletes are so important to our program, and I'm one of those people that have grown up in the community in the area, have looked to opportunities. My twin brother was an athlete here. Being able to give those opportunities to local kids first is so important. Whether they come here or not isn't the real big deal, but we're just really proud to open up doors and being able to have those kids benefit from these experiences.
I know the youth in the area probably really love getting the opportunity to interact with your athletes, but what's it like for your athletes, and how awesome is it for you as their coach to see them step into kind of a mentor or a role model position and help lead these kids and just have fun?
Well, I think it's important as coaches to put our athletes in uncomfortable positions and maybe positions they have to grow from, whether it's doing the Concordia Elementary School Marathon, whether it's doing stuff during Fall Fest, whether it's doing the youth track nights. It's somewhat nerve-wracking for them at first, but once they realize the kids have so much fun and they have a smile on their face and they're leaving completely drenched in sweat and really enjoying their time, I think it makes our athletes look at themselves differently. They start to be more accountable towards other people. They start to communicate better. They become better leaders. I always say the month of April changes all of our freshmen, and when they come back the next year, they have so many bigger expectations and so much better understanding of what our program is about. It's kind of an aha moment for them to tell them what they've learned in a simpler way and being able to see themselves in those young athletes too.
An online registration form, again, is available at cloudtbirds.com. Just click camps, and there you'll find more information about how you can register and sign up for the 2026 Youth Track Nights, which begin Monday, April 6th, and will run each Monday night through April. Coach, I appreciate your time, and best of luck as you head into the outdoor season.
Thanks for the support.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 early bird scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
My thanks to Cloud County Community College Director of Cross Country and Track and Field, Drew Mahin, for being our guest this week on T-Bird Talk. and want to wish all the best to the Cloud County Community College women's and men's track and field teams as they begin their outdoor season next week at the Jayhawk Spring Fling, hosted by the University of Kansas. The Cloud County Community College women's basketball team saw their 2025-2026 season come to an end last Saturday in the opening round of the 2026 NJCAA Region 6 Division I women's basketball tournament. Cloud County suffered a road loss, 88-64, to the Barton Community College Cougars, concluding the 2025-2026 season with a 14-16 overall record. This week, the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference announced the 2025-2026 Women's Basketball All-Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Division I women's basketball teams, which were voted on by the league head coaches. Cloud County freshman guard Kamaya Muldrow and sophomore forward Layla Washington were named to the All-KJCCC second team. Muldrow ranked third in the conference in scoring at 17.3 points per game. Muldrow finished the season with 3 games of 30 points or more and 5 games of 25 points or more. Muldrow also ranked third in the conference in free throw percentage at 82.5%, connecting on 132 of 160 attempts. Muldrow led Cloud County with 3.3 assists per game, ending the season with 6 games of 5 assists or more. Washington joined the T-Birds this season after playing her freshman year at Northern Oklahoma College, Tonkawa. Washington averaged 14 points per game on a team-leading 48.2% field goal percentage, which ranked the 10th best in the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference. Washington also led Cloud County in rebounding at 7.3 rebounds per game, which was 7th best in the Jayhawk Conference. Washington finished the year with 6 double-double performances. Washington also ranked third in the conference with 41 total blocked shots. This week, the Cloud County Community College men's basketball team erased a 12-point second-half deficit to tie the game with 1:31 remaining, but ultimately suffered a heartbreaking 96-95 defeat to number 17 Barton Community College in the 2026 NJCAA Region 6 Division I men's basketball tournament quarterfinals. With the loss, the T-Birds finished the season at 18-14 overall. The Cloud County Community College men's basketball team placed 4 on this year's Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference All-KJCCC Division I men's basketball teams. Redshirt freshman forward MJ Stackhouse would pick up All-KJCCC second-team honors. Sophomores Sincere Burnett, DJ Holloway, and Elijah Savant each received honorable mention accolades. Stackhouse led Cloud County in scoring and rebounding at 13.6 points and 7.5 rebounds per game. During the season, Stackhouse reached double figures in 23 games, including 10 straight contests in the regular season. Stackhouse recorded 9 double-double performances. He ranked third on the team in field goal percentage at 54.8%, and ended the year with 45 made three-pointers, the second most three-pointers on the team. Burnett averaged 9.9 points per game with a team-leading 46 made three-pointers. Burnett also led the team with 4.8 assists per contest, which ranked the 4th highest in the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference. Burnett also collected 1.5 steals per game. Holloway, who transferred to Cloud County from Belmont Abbey College for a sophomore season, averaged 9.3 points per game on 41.8% shooting from the field. Holloway led the team with 2.1 steals per contest, while also averaging 3.9 rebounds and 1.8 assists per game. Savant was third on the team in scoring at 11.3 points per game on a team-high 58.7% field goal percentage. Savant also ranked second on the team with 6.3 rebounds per game. The Cloud County Community College baseball team, ranked number 3 in the nation, opened its 4-game Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Series against Garden City Community College in strong fashion Thursday, sweeping the Broncbusters in a road doubleheader and extending their winning streak to 15 games. Boosted by an 8-run 6th inning and 5 different players recording 2 hits or more, the T-Birds slugged its way to a 15-8 victory over Garden City in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Cloud County pounded out 15 hits in the win. Game 2 lasted just 7 innings as the T-Birds pummeled Garden City for a 24-1 victory. In all, Cloud County blasted the Broncbusters for 14 hits. The T-Birds registered 6 extra base hits, including 5 home runs, highlighted by a 6th-inning grand slam from redshirt freshman outfielder Tanner Jacobson. Jacobson went 2 for 3 with a home run, 5 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Kellen Burke, Evan Gunn, and Joey Marino also collected multi-hit performances. Kellen Burke crushed a 2-run home run to left field in the second, while Gunn belted a solo home run in the fourth. Redshirt freshman designated hitter Simon Baker tallied 2 home runs in Game 1 and added a 3rd home run of the doubleheader in Game 2 with a 2-run shot to center field in the 4th inning. Freshman London Digwell joined the party with a solo blast to dead away center field in the 7th. The T-Birds have improved to 21-1 and will return home to host Garden City for 2 more games on Saturday. First pitch is scheduled for 1 p.m. from Lee Doyen Field in Concordia. The Cloud County Community College softball team held late leads in both of their games Thursday at Northern Oklahoma College Enid, but the Jets came back in both contests to pull out 5-4 and 10-9 victories over the T-Birds. Cloud County now sits at 4-6 on the season and will host Northern Oklahoma College Enid for 2 games on Tuesday, March 17th. To keep on top of everything happening in Cloud County athletics, make sure you visit the athletic website at cloudtbirds.com. Also like and follow us on social media. Like and follow Cloud County Athletics on Facebook and Instagram, and CCCC Sports on X. Now there will be no T-Bird Talk next week, as the students and staff at Cloud County Community College enjoy their 2026 spring break. But in the weeks to come, we'll be talking a lot more softball, baseball, and track and field. T-Bird Talk is available wherever you get your podcasts, so make sure you subscribe. T-Bird Talk is a production of the Cloud County Community College Athletic Department.